Okay, so how do you want to start this? We had a bunch of conversation that we have to fall into now.
Yeah, I don't blame the women. I blame society.
Okay. On guilt tripping us on recording or doing comedy in
or
general?
just in life, doing anything you want to do as a man. Like if you're in a relationship with a woman, there's going to be the energy of why isn't this him focusing on me?
Okay.
There's always going to be a part of that. I don't care what people say. They've been together 50 billion years. They go, oh, my person's away, blah, blah, blah. But when they're here, they want that time. So when you're in the pursuit of something and you have like a person with you, if they're not in that pursuit with you, like they're not pursuing the same thing, they're going to view it differently.
That I understand. Yeah.
Right. So when you're being told, oh, you need to spend more time with me, or I don't get why you're doing this and that, they don't know the back end stuff, or they don't know like you're sitting down here really getting some shit together, like really getting it down, or like you're writing jokes, or you're crying in the basement because you know, like whatever. Like
that's what I should have done while I was married. Come down here, turn on the studio, and just cry.
Yeah, this is my me time. This is my therapy. Leave me alone.
And that was the hard thing before the divorce started like picking up speed. I was like, look, it will take going to an open mic 5 times a week to either succeed or fail. But like I can't do an open mic once a month or once a week or whatever. Like it needs consistent.
Yeah, if you're
not
on
the
the
you also
mic,
have a 2-year-old around. It's like, okay, be a good father or be a selfish asshole.
Well, it's like at a certain point, like you can't hit 5 mics in a week, but you can get on a show twice a week and then 1 mic. I think that's quality. I'm no pro. I fucking say that all the time. I ain't no goddamn pro at this comedy shit. I'm just a young Negro, because I can use that word.
Oh dear.
We're doing that. We're just trying. But like, you got a life too. Like you said, you got a wife, kids. You know what I'm saying? You got some shit going on. Sorry you don't want to be cringy in the bar with a whole bunch of lazy dudes who wish they had your spot.
Yeah.
Like we could talk about that. Yeah. I mean, there are some days like, man, it'd be nice to go out and tell these jokes, but like, Shorty did just make like some bomb dinner last night.
I do miss homemade cooking.
I'm saying, I see a lot of my friends out here all eating out, buying Burger King twice in a day.
I had Chef Boyardee for lunch.
Yeah.
I'm 38 years old.
and I go home to cook meals, or I get to like cook with my wife, and my daughter wants to help. That stuff's cool, man. It has its pros and its cons, because there's times where I'm just sitting on the couch not bothering a soul, but here comes daughter, here comes wife, here comes other kid. Like, oh man, here we go. Or
I do miss having the kid around. There's just something that melts your heart with it. It's like, as much as it sucks to wake up early because like their internal clock is like, oh, I need like 2 hours of sleep. Like, it still sucks that I'm missing that. It's like, as much as it sucks getting dragged out of bed, it is fun. Like they're discovering stuff, or the one minute thing that is their world is like this huge thing. Like, all right, kid, like I understand the toy is cool for you, but like just to see that excitement in that. So.
I love it too, though. They freak out about that stuff.
How old's your daughter now?
She's 3, and then I have a 5-month-old.
Oh shit! So the 3-year-old probably has a focus. Like mine currently is with Transformers and transitioning into like Ninja Turtles. Like I imagine you said 2 or 3.
She's 3.
3. Okay, so you're younger than mine. Okay.
So her focus is, I mean, Minnie's up there, Minnie Mouse.
Okay.
She likes Lucas the Spider. That shit's tight on Netflix. It's like a little,
haven't heard that one.
26 episodes. Internet, Lucas the Spider needs another season. I hope it happens. 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 I read the thing about Lucas the Spider never coming back, but I hope it happens. I hope it happens. Yeah, it's a good show on Netflix. It's a little cute. Look at that little cute little spider.
3 years ago, 4 years ago now. I don't know. That might be dead.
Yeah, it's dead. But like, he's the best.
It's funny. Yeah, the spiders that's based off of. That's kind of funny. Every so often you see him in the house. You're just like, all right, cool. Yeah. It's like some crazy eyes and shit.
Lucas is so cute. He's a little cute little spider. He does a little spider rap. That's cool.
Oh, he speaks and raps.
No, he doesn't rap, but he's like, I'm Lucas the Spider. I don't know the whole song, but my daughter loves it. I think the best part, though, about having kids around is like, I never have time to watch porn anymore.
Yeah,
can't.
I do waste a lot of time on porn being a bachelor.
That's terrible. But like that just sucks. I don't mean that it's terrible.
No, it is terrible. It is like because what that does is it fucks up your dopamine cycle. So like, all right, I can jerk off 3 times, or I can write a joke. We know the success rate on that's gonna be.
Why not both?
Well, because the immediate satisfaction of porn, because like you know how hard it is sometimes. Like, all right, I know the concept that I have, and it's going to take 20 minutes, 3 weeks. Like, it's such a long game with the dopamine. Whereas like, well, I could take things in my own hands and crank
literally,
3. Yeah.
But that's what I used to do. I'd be like frustrated about something. I couldn't figure out like a Yu-Gi-Oh deck or a combo. Couldn't figure out like a Street Fighter combo. Couldn't figure out a joke, anything. I would like go like furiously beat my dick that night. Like just like it's just back to back. All like too much.
What's your record?
In a day?
Yeah.
I think I hit 10, but I was like 19.
That's the thing. Age really slows you down. I think I broke double digits in my early 20s. Now, if I'm at 5, like I need to go to the emergency room for like heart palpitations.
Nah, I remember that day. I remember I had just got broken up with, and like her friend wasn't trying, so I was like, you know what? I got the good old websites. I went ham, bro. Like, it was terrible. I was really distraught. So like I was just like, fuck it. This
was 10 years ago.
I was 19.
19.
God, don't put. God, I'm 30,
trying to put your age
33. I'm 33 right now.
Was the hub a safe place? It should have been a safe place.
No, it was the X videos back then.
Oh yeah, I think X videos Red is much higher quality now than Pornhub.
Are you paying for that? Mm-hmm. Don't pay for the.
Yeah, dude. Hey, so here's the cool thing: is once this administration takes over and porn's banned, all the guys that have been hoarding the porn are gonna become kings.
I literally all my military friends got terabytes. Shit, they're like, "Yo, we're deployed."
The thing too is going into the Middle East. Like, there's times they shake you down. Like, oh, we have a hard drive. What's on that hard drive? So that's why you put everything on the cloud and then access your cloud once you're in there.
Smart.
Yeah, I was actually looking for like hard drives that are easy like hide like a fucking can opener or whatever. Like,
one of those cool things. Yeah.
You can get them onto like credit cards. Like it looks like a credit card. I never bought that, but I imagine it's like thicker than you'd expect. But I'm telling you, man, once this administration like bans all the things, like the guys with the terabytes are going to be like the new black market of.
That's tight. What else is 47 going to ban?
So I really think 47 is going to be able to ban porn through what's already out there. Is the
what they do in Texas?
Yeah, with Texas. No, the Comstock Act. So right now, the Comstock Act has been out for like over 100 years. Is basically trying to get rid of tools for abortion. So whatever it takes to extract chemical abortion stuff. All that stuff is banned through legislation that's been approved. I think you could take a logical step between the Postal Service and the internet, where like the internet should not be used to transmit vulgar material. And I think where it's going to grab people's attention is like the United States Postal Service. If you order something on Amazon that's like a sex toy and everything, and everybody's ordered a sex toy on Amazon. I think eventually the United States Postal Service, with legislation that has already been approved, could be like, we're no longer sending, because it's also lucidious material. And it's all that's it doesn't need to be approved. They literally just have to activate the federal government. Yeah,
but
I think it's gonna be sexual stuff because with 45, 47, however you want to fucking call it, these guys are super fascinated with, overly interested in crimes against children, which is a good cause.
Right.
But when you go like, oh, all trans people are guilty of that crime, like, no. Dude, you're striking with such a wide stroking hammer.
Yeah.
Whereas like, dude, I imagine in the trans community, the percentage of awful people is equitable to what we like.
I can tell you the
People.
percentage. It's the percentage who go to a sport. I'm not about that whole change your sex and then go to a sport. Because you sucked as a dude, you're going to go chop your weenie off. You think you're going to go suck as a woman too? No, don't put that on the females.
How many people do you think that is their mindset? Like, I need to win a sport, so I'm going to go through this process.
Too many. If that's your mindset, if you're going to if you're going to change yourself for a sport to become another gender.
But how many cases are standing there? We have this specific athlete who specifically changed their sex so they could specifically succeed in the sport in the opposite sex. Is there any case that's standing that way?
I feel like all the ones that are getting these medals and going for the gold, anybody who's out there doing that and then like, I overcame and persevered. There's only a certain level of that. I'm giving that. Because if you persevered and overcame what you were originally doing in that like field of male tennis, you were getting your ass beat, so you go chop off the one thing that claims you a man.
Yeah.
So now you're a woman, but you still have all that male testosterone, and then I overcame it over. Look, no, you didn't. No, you didn't.
From what I understand, so like the
No.
the swimming, the college, the chick that was in Penn State, she wanted to become a female. She became a female, and then her sport at the time was swimming. I think transitioning and become losing the body dysphoria took precedent over like, oh, by the way, I'm doing sports. What I'm saying is, like, can we name a specific person that said, oh, I was top 300 and then I specifically changed my body so I get into the top 10? Is there any standing cases where an athlete has specifically done that?
I think there was a wrestler, not like WWE, like a.
I know
wrestler.
there was an MMA person that transitioned, but I don't know if that was the reason why they transitioned.
Well, okay, put it like this: if there is one, shame. If there isn't, and they're hiding the motion, shame. If there's people who just, I happened to change my sex and I was playing a sport, that's a totally different.
And that's how I've perceived all of those issues so far.
I
now,
can't.
we could pin that.
I'm saying.
If we can pin that specifically, yeah, 100%. I'm
Right.
not on board with somebody that is all of the things that come with transition, still the bone density and like all that stuff. I can understand that argument. I don't know of any athletes yet that have said, I have specifically changed myself so I can be dominant in MMA or swimming or anything like that.
Is that like allowed? Are they allowed to say that, or is that part of like their?
I don't think
That's a part of their
community would let you do that.
I think that's a part of the paperwork. Like, yo, you got your change. You can't have this change and say you got this change for X reasons.
How dedicated to that sport is that person, though? I'm willing to cut all my stuff off to succeed. That is like a level of psycho. Because like we know the sacrifices Jordan made to get to where Jordan's at.
Right.
I think a person transitioning, cutting their stuff off, I think is even more psycho, even more psycho than Michael Jordan.
Okay, fair enough. But like for real though, think about just really think about all those like people in middle school that just sucked, that were bullied because they couldn't do well on this team or that team, and then let's say they were to go get a change and now they're on the opposite sex's team, and they get to perform well.
I don't know if there's a confirmed case of that ever happened.
Okay, what's confirmed, Mr.
So I think where the gray area with that is,
Right.
a lot of nerds oh my God, this is about to be sensitive. I know a
2025.
lot of the trans people because I have numerous trans friends.
Right.
At the end of the day, in middle school and high school, they were the nerds. I don't think like, being a nerd and like the competitive nature is what transitions. It all is anchored in that body dysphoria.
Okay, if that's where it starts, if body dysphoria is one thing, cool. But these people who are doing it for the wrong reasons or just trying to be seen and aren't going through anything or just using whatever insurance they can to just change, that's foul to me. Yeah. But I'm not going to talk about anybody's story if they've been bullied, dysphoria, they identify a different way. Any of that, that's their story, that's their life, and I'm in support of you doing that. But if you were coming to this YMCA men's league talking about, I'm a man and I did this, like for the YMCA men's league, you chopped your shit. You added one, or like you changed to the women's league because it's the Y. Like I don't know. People do stuff for the wrong reasons. And if you're not doing it for yourself or like spiritually connected for like what you're trying to do, and you're doing it to appease the sport, I'm off that, dog. I'm off that.
And I would be with you if there is a confirmed case.
All right, let's find a
right
confirmed.
now,
Fair enough. And I'm not hating on the community. I got hella
Same here.
people. I got hella people in the community, and I'm not taking away from them.
I feel people in the community would also disagree with that.
Yeah.
That is a very committed thing emotionally and physiologically, and so like all of those layers.
To give it up for like a 5-year career?
The person, I think the person would ostracise themselves. Like, I specifically did this for the competitive edge. I think a lot of people in the trans community would back up, be like, yo, what?
But like, also, have you seen those stories where such and such trans athlete dominated, took over?
Yeah, the Penn State is the most serious case. She was like in the top 300 swimming, and then she broke women's records like 2 seasons later.
Right.
And Liberty Lane and I talked about that.
Is that gray area? Is that like the thing I think that makes that difficult is the headline.
Yeah. Well, that was also picked up by the culture wars. Is like the chick that she was swimming against is now working for Fox News, and holy shit, she has a lot of horrific shit to say.
Right there.
Penn State trans swimmer.
Right.
Leah Thomas. There we go.
Leah Thomas. But like, are there any rules within the collegiate system that says, okay, wait a year after you've had this change?
I think it goes off of testosterone.
Testosterone levels?
Yeah, which sucks because like the Olympics, there was a Hispanic chick where women can have high testosterone levels. It shows with hair and like the way their body's shaped. Yeah. They have been biologically women the entire time. But that's the thing too, is like, all right, trans person coming down off testosterone, but then a woman who's always been a woman, her testosterone, like there's got to be this weird gray area where it's like, is this person? It's really hard to like start judging where that's at.
Right. But
she's young as hell too, dude. 1999.
But that's that age. That's that generation. Because you
said
weird
shit. Man.
You said you're 39, right?
38.
38, cool. 5 years older than me. I'm in that same group of like, shut the fuck up and figure it out. Like, you're crying, here's a punch. Like, I was brought up in that era, and I'm not saying it's right. Like, but me crying now as an adult even feels weird.
Yeah.
Like, me getting this off and expressing myself feels weird as an adult because of what we were raised through and what brought us up. Dog, we were the first generation to see like a school shooting. We were the first generation to see, oh shit, that's Batman movie theater getting fucked up, getting lit up. Like, we were the first generation.
Well, for it to be common.
Like, super common.
Like, school violence has been like early 1900s.
It's always been
But
there,
for it to be routinely like, oh, hey, this month it's fucking Colorado. Next month it's Pennsylvania.
Right.
Like,
or like how many young people have been through things in our generation that are still sitting there being quiet. The Me Too was not for our generation.
No.
Me Too was for...
I would say Xers and millennials, like right there.
Yeah, it was for the paydays. It was for people not happy in the situation. But like...
I don't think initially. I think initially it was like Epstein had to fucking go.
Right.
But then it's just like, oh, this one guy commented on my tits 10 years ago. Like,
now he's in trouble.
Crucify him.
Well, Bill Cosby told me I was hot 10 years ago now. Let's crucify him. You know,
Cosby's a weird one because so much of his crimes are past the statute of limitations. So.
Right, but is it? But the time passed. How do you have evidence in forensic kits from 1980 in the 2020s? That stuff is weird to me.
Well, I think sexual crimes only go back 7 years.
Even then, though,
which is like wild.
But like, you know how it is. A woman can say, "This man assaulted me," or "I didn't like how he came across from me." Boom, there's a warrant out for your arrest. And I'm not here again. I'm not fucking here to take away from those who've been hurt. I'm not against anybody. Blah blah blah. There's a lot of people in that energy.
I don't think it's that frivolous. Like, oh, that person assaulted me. Like, let's go get him. But like, I do understand that there is an imbalance with that. But like, the investigative process is going to be leading. Well, this person said, so let's lead to that conclusion.
Right.
Yeah. It's
versus what happened. I remember even in high school once, this chick. First off, I'll say it right now. That bitch was ugly, bummy, dusty, not my type of white bitch. I'll say it.
You're not starting this conversation well.
I don't give a fuck. I remember going to my history teacher.
Going, like, she's not my type.
Yeah, I remember coming to that class that day, and like the teacher like switched around the room, and then like afterwards, he called me to this, like aside afterwards, like, hey, I'm gonna write you a pass your next class. Let me talk to you real quick.
Okay.
He shows me this referral of what this girl had said. He was like, on the simple basis of what she said, I almost had to send this in. But I had to talk to you about it, and like I'm telling you right now, don't interact with this girl. Yeah. I was like, she like nothing like he was like, trust me. After she kept opening her mouth, I just would rather you not fuck with this person.
Was it physical or just
she
completely
was trying
verbal?
to say I was trying to say stuff to her, or I was looking her up and down. First off, you weren't that. Like, second of all, if you were mad because I dated your friend later on, like that's the type of shit that witches be on. And I'm not talking the witches making the cauldrons and making us feel good. I'm talking about those witches like putting a red sauce in the red sauce, trying to like condense their lives into you and be living through you and eat your soul succubuses.
And that's the delicate part of this conversation is like, there's people that are guilty of, false stuff. But you should trust every allegation until it's understood, like, oh, you're a horrific person yourself trying to get somebody else in the worst degree of trouble. It's like there's not much recovery from sexual assault allegations.
No, or
even if they're
DV,
false.
Well, DV weird, but like
DV.
Domestic violence.
Oh, yeah.
But like, I think once that energy's put on a man or any person, that person who has to fight through all that, and like on top of fighting through that, through the social piece, there's the court system there, and then you still have to like rebuild your own image. Like people, you've been there where a person has said something about you, and it almost like ruined some shit for you, or like it put a weird energy on your shit. I've been there. I've had to do it. I've came back from it.
I've done that more professionally, where it's like, oh, this dude does shit work. Like I don't know, maybe I'm too good of a goody two shoe. I've never had anything like, he's raped or like anything
good,
like
though.
that.
Good though.
Yeah, 100%.
Like good though.
I hope to keep that for another 38
But
years.
see, like I've been in a situation where I'm being hit by a person, being hit by a woman, and just because I'm a 6-foot black man with tattoos, as soon as I were to call the cops or go interact, I'm in trouble. You know, but I stay there and try to talk to the cops. That's another thing, you know. Oh, you hear my name, Taheim. They look at my ID. They already put a presumption on it.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, David, but like, if I were to ever have heard something like, oh, David MD did something with such and such woman, I'd be like, they coming for this white man. they want to take his studio. Like they come. I'll hit you with the Kanye voice. I thought I told you what he was. He's not that guy. He's not that guy. Yeah. Like I would, you know, that type of stuff. And I don't believe that there's a lot of innocent until proven guilty. Motherfuckers are guilty until we say you're not, and that's foul.
In 2025, that is definitely
since like 2010. Like,
well, no, I'm saying 2025 in the social media realm is like the social media. Like, oh, if you're guilty, good luck. Proved your innocence.
Bro, there was a video I saw on TikTok, and this like young dude, he's a Yu-Gi-Oh player, I guess, but he had like all these shorties with him.
The
all
nerd,
these, right?
The nerd level for you is still something I'm grasping with.
I don't look like a nerd, but like we could talk about some stats of Pokemon. We could talk about
carry yourself like a nerd either.
But like what does that mean? Do I need to sound like Urkel to be like, don't shoot me, guys, don't shoot me? You know, like no.
It's that millennial shit. Like I'm an elder millennial. So.
I get it, but you have your things that you were geeked out about, and that you like. That's the millennial in you. Like some stuff seems hoarded until it gets talked about, then you're like, oh, like here we go. What were we no, I've been there though. Like,
the cool dude playing Yu-Gi-Oh,
blah blah, all these things, and then look at this guy, he's wearing Jordan's outfit. I'm out in the club. It's a totally different look, and then people are like trying to assume put energy out there. Okay. You know, I don't know. In 2025, it's about to be really different, I think. If you won't, you had me lost on the story, the Yu-Gi-Oh story. Got it. This chick on Instagram, like this dude, he had like these chicks with him, shorties, and like this girl had at the time, it was like a $300 card, not in a sleeve, and she was just whipping it around in the air,
just raw dogging.
You raw dogging it, and I commented, I was like, instead of you like waving around this $300 card, how about you like have you actually play Yu-Gi-Oh? You trying to duel, bitch? Like where y'all at? What do you mean we can't play Yu-Gi-Oh because we're girls? That was her response. No, bitch. Like you were not playing Yu-Gi-Oh because you got this $300 card just waving around with not even a sleeve on it. Yeah, like you're wasting money. You're wasting this dude's time. Get rid of her. That's what I wanted to tell him.
How many cards are up in there? 3. Like that's extremely rare.
Dude,
with, like,
that's
Magic.
light. That's light work for Yu-Gi-Oh.
Holy shit!
Like that's light work. I saw a card the other day. It was a Blue Eyes, like graded PSA 10 was like 5 Gs.
I'm in the wrong industry.
No, stay where you're at. Like stay where you're at. But
is that still an active thing going? Yu-Gi-Oh?
100%. Matter of fact, Blue Eyes got a structure deck coming out soon.
Oh dear.
Yeah, Dark Magician. Where you at? Like Yu-Gi-Oh still popping. There's a YCS going on right now in Orlando. Okay. A Yu-Gi-Oh Championship series.
What's weird is like, don't you carry around like a sling backpack?
I call it the Brotility satchel.
Yeah, and it has cards in it.
Yeah, I always keep my deck on me, so if motherfuckers trying to duel, we're current format too. We're not doing the old formats. I'm right now. Like, I'm today.
You're literally one of the coolest guys that walk into an open mic. Like every time, like, all right, there's the cool dude in this entire room. Ain't nobody can fuck with this dude's chill. And he's like, oh, yeah, guys, here's my Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
I've had that happen before. My wife has told me, like, one time we went to the car shop, I just wanted to show her where I was at. She was looking around like, why are you in here? I was like, because these are my friends. Like, this is what kept me out of trouble. Believe it or not, Yu-Gi-Oh was my main bitch. Like, Yu-Gi-Oh was my first girl.
Oh, really?
Like, first time I ever saw a card or saw something, I was like, I'm going to take care of it. I put sleeves on it, like deck box, everything. I might have upgraded her, everything. Every time I've played Yu-Gi-Oh and stayed within my Yu-Gi-Oh realm, like hang with my friends, even go out of state. I've been on a Yu-Gi-Oh trip, hit the strip club, and not been any trouble. As soon as I put down Yu-Gi-Oh interacting with like somebody, I got child support. Like this is exactly what happened. I remember when I was 18, I was talking to this chick, and she was like, Yu-Gi-Oh's immature, and I gave it up for a little bit, sold all my shit, just try to give her, you know, the energy, and then that bitch was cheating on me. Who's immature now? You know, like that shit. People really try it, and then they think, oh, because I'm a dweeb, they can talk to me any type of way. But then when I get on stage, you've heard I've had to yell at a black woman, like I've had to go off, like I've had to spaz. Like it's just you're allowed to love what you love and have fun.
How often are you buying Yu-Gi-Oh cards?
Do you want the politically correct answer, or the answer is going to get me in trouble with my wife?
I want the true. I forgot about the married level.
I mean, like, it just depends. There's been months where I've had to get cards like 3 times in a week because, I had to wait for it to come in the mail. So I already ordered it, and then like a new set drops, but then I forgot to get this old card. Or I realize I want to play something now, so I got to go back and get these cards. Or a new set just dropped, so I got to order these fuckers. You know, stuff like that.
I'm so glad there's nothing like that in my life.
Be happy. I remember one time my wife saw like 2 packages come, like within like a week.
Oh,
and she was like, I'm just saying. I was like, don't say nothing, because I saw all that Amazon, and then there's still that super long box from Amazon that I don't know what was in it, where it at.
The one thing I truly appreciate of being divorced and the only man under this roof, not having to break down fucking Amazon boxes every goddamn week. Oh my god. So it got to a point where he got away from me, and we just started throwing boxes like in the garage. Literally half of the garage was just boxes that either been collapsed or not collapsed. I was like, and ever since I've got my divorce, like I manage my boxes. I don't know what it is with women. If they get so excited what's in the box, they lose the mechanical ability to break down the box.
Dog, once you have a spouse or a partner or a woman in your life, you are literally that Swiss Army knife. You are everything that they don't want to do or can't do.
Makes you contemplate going gay. Just two guys.
No.
Hey man, break this shit.
Nah, because
happen.
I hate myself some days. Like I know another dude version of me, or like another dude in my vicinity that I'm supposed to be intimate with. Nah, get out of here.
I think you would chip at your insecurities as well.
Yeah. I'd be like, you. Well, okay. First and foremost, if I was ever gonna be with a dude, he'd have to be like big, buff, 6'7" Roman Reigns type tattoo.
Oh, so you want to be the small spoon?
Nah, you ain't gonna just punk me, but like I need you to be a man if you're gonna be a man. I ain't gonna be no. They say power bottom, but I ain't gonna be no bottom. We ain't gonna do that. Like that's exactly where I'm at. Like you go take off your shirt and be all sexy, flexy in front of me. I gotta get all my average ass out of these clothes. No thanks. Get out of here, fine man.
I don't think physically I could keep up with being gay, because like I've had the spare tire now for 15 years.
Some gays like that.
That's true too.
I
don't think I'm in bear territory though.
I've been told I've been like pseudo bear. I've been called a tree chopper by gay dudes.
Tree chopper.
Like, I know how to be a man, break down some boxes. They like that shit. They don't necessarily want that big burly, but they want like a man.
Okay.
Like if the oil pan were to pop out, you know how to do something, or like fix a tire, or like.
Oh, so when my car breaks down, I whip out my wallet and let another man like fix that shit. I haven't even changed the oil on my car.
Nothing wrong with that. Like, it's okay to take your shit to somewhere and get it changed.
Also, it comes with a warranty.
So. Yeah, use your warranty. I love those dudes who know how to fix their shit and like be tinkering. That's cool, but like I ain't got time for all that.
I'm just not. The ADHD with the dopamine, I don't take satisfaction from like mechanical things. What's hilarious is I'm in a mechanical job. So these guys are like hyper motivated to like get these jobs. I'm like, I could not care less if this gets fixed or not.
I'm doing it.
Now, if we want to do the administrative part of this, I'll go work on the Excel sheet, and that's where I get all my dopamine. But
oh no, that's my least favorite thing to do is Excel sheets or sheets.
So are you more blue collar, working in like?
But see, like, let's say if I wasn't pursuing comedy and Yu-Gi-Oh is like my passions, like the optician in me, I don't mind doing the numbers and writing it down. Yeah, I'm writing numbers down. I'm giving you the spics and specs, but I'm also making sure you don't leave in anything ugly. Like that's the fun part.
You're like selling frames, like
putting the frames on people's faces. Like I'm making sure your script is nice, homie. You got astigmatism, come fuck with me.
Nice.
You know, any of you, actually, some of the comedians in the city have. Some of the comedians in Colorado have came and fuck with me, and thank you for those who have.
So if you want glasses, come to Taheim.
You need contacts too.
If you want a suit, go talk to Thad. Yeah, we'll get you right top to bottom.
I think Joe Cruz can get you a fake ID. I'm just like,
Jason Alexander can get you shoes, which I still am struggling to connect. So I'm struggling to connect you with the nerd thing. I'm struggling to connect Jason Alexander with his shoe game, because that dude will flip shoes. I'm like, wait, what?
I've only seen him in like cowboy boots. I can't think.
That's
even
what I'm saying. Like,
I've seen
you selling Jordans. I don't fucking understand.
Shout out Jason Alexander. I've seen him play football in cowboy boots and murder. I don't know who let him get on the basketball court with cowboy boots.
He does look like a corn-fed dude.
Oh, so. He's straight Nebraska boy. North Dakota found. Iowa's best. Like that.
Brock Lesnar looking kind of
baby Brock. Baby Brock. Well, his
Have you seen his daughter, Lesnar's daughter?
She'll fuck us all up.
Yeah,
but like
she'll F5 everybody.
Watch, but she's also like a young lady. Give her like 25. She'll be as big as Brock, but look like Celine Dion. You're like, what the fuck? Don't be shocked. Don't be shocked.
That is wild, because they also have his daughter has like the fair complexion too. Like
you can tell it's his kid.
It's so fucking weird.
But I'm telling you, give her like she's early now in college. Like she's in college whooping ass, being a collegiate athlete. She's
doing a shot put. Like put that shit into the bleachers.
That thing is strong.
Yeah.
But like, do you imagine her dad hyping her up? Do it! You're a beast! You're coronated! I would like that's the type of dad I'd want around. Like, yo,
hell yeah.
Brock Lesnar's my pop, and then let somebody say something about me while Brock Lesnar's standing there. And he's the most soft-spoken dude. Have you ever heard that dude talk?
Oh, hey, he's cool as fuck.
He talks like I'm not gonna really.
Not as bad as Dave Bautista.
I love
that dude's switch. I'm like, wait, you're that jacked dude that was fucking people up. He's like, yeah, well,
Bobby
Lashley, lunch boxes, and like, what the fuck?
Bobby Lashley's the same way. That dude, he talks very like.
I just saw one of his interviews like a couple weeks ago. I'm like, oh, there's the juxtaposition.
Yeah,
too.
and then as soon as he's out there, he ain't saying nothing, and then looks like his vein. That was the first black dude I saw, like the vein go from here and then straight to the middle of his forehead. Man, shout out Bobby Lashley.
Yeah, I saw a couple weeks ago. So I have a love-hate relationship with wrestling. Is like I do like hearing the Attitude Era guys, like the Undertaker's, podcast now is amazing, but my feed, I had Ultimate Warrior, like the year he died, like training other dudes. It was still that driven, like, oh, you got to throw that down like a bitch, fucking take a lap, like all of this shit. And like that would have been an intense dude back in the 80s to like throw around because he was jacked out of his skull. He's also on some steroids, but
a lot of those dudes were back then. Even I know homies now that be saying they in the gym working out hard, but they taking that little injection to the pee-pee.
Yeah, you can't tell me The Rock's all natural, dude. That dude's more juice than Lesnar.
I heard a story about how he got his titties done, like he has permanent pecs.
Yeah, apparently in his mother's side of the family, because that's where the Samoan side is. Like that's actually family, known. Yeah.
I don't know how to say their name, but shout out Roman Reigns. Continue.
Yeah. In the gene pool,
the bloodline,
Yeah, I hate that.
The bloodline, bitch, the bloodline.
In the gene pool, apparently, like they store fat in their chest more. So yeah, it was The Rock versus Mankind. When he was hitting him in the head with when he was handcuffed. Apparently, that was immediately after the surgery. That's why he's always wearing that shirt to that entire match when he was fucking up Mankind. Am I throwing like real like wrestling nerd shit at you?
No, that's allowed. I love that shit. I tell people all the time, they're like, what got you into wrestling? My grandma, Monday night, the Monday Night War, Raw and Nitro, going back and forth. My grandma was like, you can stay up and watch this with me, but like this is all you're staying up to do. Like sit your ass on this fucking couch and you're watching this. Sure enough, I'm hearing Stone Cold's music, The Rock. I learned who Triple H was, Mankind, so much dope shit. Ric Flair.
Hearing that glass shatter and the comedian in me hearing that audience pop is like, I don't think you'll ever hear that for a comedian.
I don't know.
That like just uproarious, like, oh my God. Well, we also don't have entrance music.
But like I've heard stories of like Dave Chappelle shows like before
going that crazy.
Like music's playing before he comes out. Like y'all need to get your asses on your fucking feet. Like y'all need to keep it like that type of energy.
Yeah,
and I think it's there.
I've never seen that.
So
that'd be wild.
I saw Nate Jackson live, and that dude brought some of the best energy off just simply pointing in the crowd like, "What's your name?"
Really?
His crowd work was insane, and I remember seeing people like like doing the obnoxious Negro laugh where they're on the floor rolling, like for real, like for real. I've seen that dude do some like shit in person. I've seen that happen in person. Hannibal Buress, I saw that dude get a crazy eruption of loonies. When I'm talking about.
What's wild because he's so laid back.
His on stage and some of his act outs and the way he's telling the story, like his dry reverses are crazy. Like that sounded like the driest story, but what he's talking about. And then when he gets to his punch, you're like, fuck.
But he's getting like stone cold 90s like pops.
Like as soon as like his show was over, all right, my name is Hannibal Buress. like people went crazy in Loonies for him.
Holy shit.
People went crazy. There was Nate Jackson 2 nights. It was a Saturday night show, the first show. Like we were having a problem getting people out of that club because like they were just like Nate, like we love him. Oh my God, like they were trying to get like everything.
Carrying him out of the club. And
shit. Like I'm over here trying to open up the door, but then like I still got people lined up at the next door. Like I was really trying my best to be like, damn.
Were you a doorman at?
I was helping out. No, not at Looney's. No, I've never worked there. At the other club, they let me work there. You know, trying to get up.
The other club.
I mention it that way because motherfuckers be tripping, and I ain't about to deal with no dumbass tripping on me because I was just.
You don't want a gatekeeper fucking you up again?
No, I don't need none of that energy. And I ain't never get my booty up to get on stage either. I'll say that right now. Mm-hmm. Like, I genuinely just was getting on stage, and I was told by like other people were like, if you want to get better, this is a consistent like mic. They have more stuff going on than what we're doing over here, and that's not knocking, but like we set up a little different over here. Mm-hmm. And if you want to get into our setup or like be a part of this, like we need you to gain some skills. That's all that was. And then I go
the other club,
just in comedy in general.
Okay.
They were like, if you want to like perform here and like go nationwide and do these things like what you're doing now, you got to elevate it, you got to take it more. And that was a sit down with the other owner, and that was like a genuine just chatting it up as bros. I've known that dude for 10 plus years. So he's not saying no, you can't be at my club, no, you can't perform here, no, you can't do these things, but he's like, if I'm bringing in a Hannibal Buress, are you going to be able to be at that fucking energy?
Yeah.
Are your jokes, is your style going to be up here where it needs to be?
Yeah.
And I don't know. I never looked at that whole shit as like gatekeeping this and that. I just thought people were being ignorant. Like if you don't get your ass on stage or try to like get up and be funny, sure, not everybody's gonna think you're funny. Not everybody's gonna want to book you, but you have to persevere through that. Like you just have to. And I've been told way more no's than I've been told yes. But when I've had those yes, I've made it pop or I've done my best with it. Or just being available. There was a show a couple Saturdays ago where somebody couldn't show up and I got a call like, hey, can you come here?
Oh, sure.
Like, yeah, I was there. I showed up. It happens, man. Like just I don't know. I ain't worried about too much of that other bullshit, gatekeeping, all that other stuff. I'm kind of like,
when is the other club opening up again?
I don't know.
Because I've heard it was supposed to be the end of 24, and
well, we're into 25 now.
Yeah,
like I don't know, but I'm very thankful for the time and energy that I was able to spend there. Because when I was able to go back to the other club, my jokes are hitting. They're like, oh, that's different. That's not the same thing I heard out of Taheim, or they're sticking, or I'm getting the hey, that was hot. To get that from other comics, like, yo, I like that, or like, yo, this was like, can I, or that stuff is what we like, quote unquote, live for besides like the paycheck and getting famous.
And that's why, like, the guys that I know, when they kill it up on stage, I specifically go like, hey, that specific thing, like, crush, because I know how much it means to people.
Right.
You know?
Just a simple, and that's another thing, too. This past time I did a show at Vultures for Joe Bruno on Wednesday, and after I got on stage, like, I had a good set. It was fine. People were giving me props. And one of my friends was like, hey, I like that joke, but it's like at this line of like borderline gross, like cringy, and like or you're just gonna take it to like it's hilarious. Yeah. He was like, maybe slow it down, and he gave me some real like his opinion on it as an audience member, not a fellow comedian or anything like that, just as an audience member.
Okay.
And I took that, and that meant something to me. I was like, okay, that was constructive. I can build off that, because he wasn't saying it was bad, but he was like, but you could have really like lost the soul of this room if you would have like done something different. Yeah. He was giving me like the, hey, that's hot, but like,
so you're riding the line that hard on that bit.
Yeah. He was saying like, don't like work on it so you don't like fumble it. That's basically what he was saying.
Okay.
And that's the same energy I was given 2-3 years ago from both people at those clubs. Like each club was that type of stuff. Fellow comedians that are doing things now. Like, hey, well, I want to laugh at your Yu-Gi-Oh stuff, but I can't follow it. That's genuine. Like, I'm fucking with you, but I like that specifically I ain't a fan of. Yeah. And that's cool. That's in our scene. So yeah.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Valentine's Day is coming up, dude. You got any plans? Not that I'm looking for a date. I'm just
nah, and like all my wife's sisters are like married or in a situation. I would have been put you on. But like and then like
what's your go-to for Valentine's Day? Like, do you go for specific candy? Do you go for a specific venue? Like,
so our first Valentine's Day, we went to Red Lobster.
Oh shit, that's a rarity now because they keep closing them damn things.
Now though, like we got kids and stuff, so I'll probably bring home some flowers.
Nice.
You know, I gotta have the flowers.
Every time I brought home flowers, my ex-wife, she called out the quality of them. She's like, you got that at the gas station. I'm like, they're colorful. They're fucking flowers. Like, who gives a shit?
Nobody says spend $100 on flowers. Yeah. But, like, you can spend more than, like, the 10, 20.
Well, it was that along with another sentimental thing. But, like, she would, like, focus on that for 2 seconds. And then eventually the quality of the flowers came up. Like, what the fuck?
Dude, we're never good enough.
No. That's what I think I'm getting at.
That's Valentine's Day. It's like, I've went so hard on Valentine's Day before in my past. I've tried, you know, but like, honestly, you say you love me, you say you fucking with me, we don't need to spend all this enormous amounts of money. I'm all for a good meal. Don't get twisted. Like, yeah, I'm down. Like Biaggi's, like whatever.
A nice steak right now. I would kill for a nice steak right now.
That's popping.
Yeah,
that's good. But if she wants sushi,
so goddamn tired of sushi.
Also in Colorado, what are we doing? We are not we are a landlocked state eating all this. What sushi are we getting from? What sushi is trout happening?
Yeah,
I'm not eating no trout sushi. No is it sea bass up there in the mountains?
I have no
Whatever the fuck it is, mountain carp. I'm not eating that in sushi. That don't taste good with seaweed, or maybe it does. Who knows?
Or maybe some like hay, like yeah.
Okay, speaking of which, we're in Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
The national food here is Rocky Mountain oysters, cow balls.
Yeah.
What about the heifer hooves? What about the female uteruses and stuff? What are we doing with those? We gonna cook those up?
Is that the state food?
Yeah. You think I'm playing? I also got fun facts for you. Colorado Springs' nickname, one of its nicknames is Little London.
Really?
However,
what the fuck?
Rocky Mountain oysters.
Does that have an official
Palisade
food?
peaches? Is that what they're called?
That's kind of funny.
What the fuck? Hey, girl, you trying to get some Rocky Mountain oysters and some Palisade peaches?
So a part of me wants to like offshoot this podcast into like enjoying Colorado's like culture. I don't know if I can go for the official food. Like I think I'd get too far in my head with the texture.
The official food for Colorado should be the Burger King on South Academy
Burger King
Airport.
Dude. Are you okay? Burger
I'm perfectly
King?
fine. Listen, I can't. There have been good restaurants that are now chains, but like a Colorado food that started here, Denver Biscuit Company, I guess. Mm-hmm. That was really good when I first had it.
Quiznos actually started in Denver. I found that out a couple weeks ago.
Do we still have Quiznos in Colorado?
There's like 5 Quiznos left in the country, I think.
Okay, I remember Quiznos.
So they
as like
peaked and then they hard fell, like because it's a local Denver spot. Like right. I think they sunk back to the Denver scene.
But like when people ask me like what should they eat here when they come visit Colorado, I always tell them like roll up.
Fat Sollies.
I tell them roll up. I go like if you want some like good food, go to Roll Up.
I haven't even heard of that spot.
Roll Up Food. They were a food truck, and then that's where we do comedy stuff at.
Okay.
Stuff now, but they still serve food. They're awesome. Like nice. they're the shit. They're the shit. like PHAT. They're fat. Like they're dope.
Ooh,
the food
throwback.
Their food is good. Energy's great. Everybody's awesome in there. And they cater. They do a whole bunch of dope shit.
You said that fat shit. I'm trying to bring back my bomb podcast.
Do it, fat. Yeah, I'll come here in a whole jumpsuit. Don't play
fat shit bomb. Like.
Yeah, fat shit bomb. Where else in like?
I would say, and here's the thing: it's all next door to each other. Fat Sollies, Dos Santos, and Cask and Cork or Cork and Cask.
That Taheim strip.
Yeah, all 3 of those are just killers.
Okay. Yeah.
Speaking of that, Corey, I can't remember her name. Corey, I had never talked to her. I was always trying to get her on the podcast.
Is it Corey Deck?
Yeah,
I call her Jimmy. I call her Sex Change Jimmy Neutron. Her forehead. I love her forehead. I told her that to her face. I was like, "You're like Jimmy Neutron with a sex change." She was trying to figure out like roast or something one time. We were at some club and I was like, "Jimmy Neutron with a big forehead." Sex Change Jimmy Neutron. Brain blast. No, she's tight. She's cool.
I've been wanting her on the podcast. I've never spoke to her in person. New Year's Eve, I'm on that strip and not even thinking about the podcast. My date goes to the bathroom and then she walks up and I'm like, all right, I want her on the podcast. Like, how do I float this? Like, it's such a weird, like, I'm just overthinking this shit. Mm-hmm. And she takes my order. I'm like, hey, before you go, like, I got a quick question. She's like, what's up? I'm like, how's the comedy going? And like, she's like, how do you know I'm a stand-up comedian? And then for some reason, like, that completely glitched me out. Where like I need to like hard reset my brain before I can answer. I'm like, do I go the stand-up comedy way or do I go with like the podcast? It just completely, it was like one of the most awkward conversations I've had in 2024.
Oh dang.
was with Corey. She still hasn't answered my request to come on the podcast.
Give her time. You probably weirded her out. She's like, I'm trying to get you an order. I didn't know if these fries need to be extra large, and he over here all, oh, how's comedy? It probably just spooked her, you know.
Well, I've always felt weird inviting women onto the podcast because, like, at the end of the day, I'm like, hey, do you want to come to my basement in front of these cameras?
The only in front of these cameras. Well, there's cameras. Right?
Yeah. You're like, hey, bitch, like, no cameras.
I got the setup. I got a table. I got chairs. I got beers. I got waters. What you need? No. So men in 2025, there's things we can't say. And one of those things is, this is a safe place. When men say that, it instantly,
red flag.
like, you call it a red flag. Like, the whole room is not safe. This is a fucking war zone. Like, she better stab that man. Like, instantly, like, I had this argument with one of my homies, one of the fellow comedians. He's from Orlando, but he lives here now. And he's like, well, I'm one of those guys who's like, it's a safe blah, blah. I was like, you look like the type of guy who would say this. And I'm not saying you would, but, like, you can't say that. And he was like, well, what do you mean? I was like, when dudes say that, it's instantly gross. It's like, ugh.
Yeah.
That's like if a girl says, like, I don't know, like, what is something that, like, a woman says?
I was literally about to say, what's the female equivalent to that?
What is the female equivalent of this is a safe place? You can trust me.
Yeah, you can open up to
Liar.
Yeah, if a woman says open up to me, she's looking for leverage.
You're dead.
Yeah. What am I about to fuck
Your
this dude
bank
up
account
with?
has been compromised. You better give her all your money now.
And now that I think of it, a divorcee twice over, that is the biggest oh shit moment is that's what it is. I am not your ex-girlfriend. That is the biggest red flag.
Don't compare me to these other bitches.
Or with my first ex-wife is like, don't compare me to your baby mama. And then my second wife, don't compare me to your baby mama still. My baby mama really fucked me up for a very long
Baby mamas
time,
do that, though.
Yeah.
We've talked about it. We don't have to go down that one again. We're good now. This is a safe place. But if you need to open up about
What sucks now, too, is like my oldest is now 16. So, like, I don't know if he's venturing out into my podcast yet. Hi, Andrew.
He's venturing out. Just be that cool dad. Be like, look, there's going to come a time in your life where I hope it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
But you going to deal with some bitches. And for me, your mama was a bitch. Like, this is like
I didn't say that.
But like, not in the way of like, I fucking hate that bitch or anything like that. Like, this shit was not it. Like, I'm an asshole. I'm a bitch. Like, she's a bitch. Like, we split. And now we're just trying to figure it out for you.
I think at the end of the day, his mother's a really good person.
Mm-hmm.
I like to think I'm a really good person, but I really believe that there's people in this world you'll never get along with.
Agreed.
And unfortunately, she was 3 months pregnant before we figured that out.
Okay, so I've been there where this person may not be bad, but like what their intentions are might be bad for you. Or like what they're trying to do, or their envelope, their energy they're trying to push doesn't meet with your criteria, what you're trying to do. So then that creates a whole thing, and then you're already with a kid. So like,
Yeah.
I've been there. The only thing I can say is just read the room. Like, people don't want to listen. People don't want to try to compromise. If people want it only their way or the highway, they're not the type of person.
And that's where it got down to.
Yeah.
Was I know she had a divorce, and I think there's a lot of stuff that came from that. Where she's like, all right, I don't want to repeat these patterns. I'm like, well,
I'm
at
not
least
him.
Let's work with that.
But I'm not him. Yeah, because the same way she don't want to be compared to any ex, same way no woman want to be compared to no other woman, no dude wants to be compared to another set of balls. Yeah. It's just that simple. I don't care if I'm hitting your esophagus. Like, I don't want to be compared to this asshole who wasn't, or like this dude who shriveled up quick. I don't want to. None of that.
Yeah.
Because it's the same thing for you. Like she don't want none of that. Like, women don't like hearing that, oh, my last chick was Sofia Vergara, but now I got you, Margaret. Like, it's whatever, you know. Like, if you keep looking at the past, that's where you want to be.
Oh, you want to wreck a relationship quick? You're just like my mother.
Oh, man. Just like your mother?
Yeah. Or you're just like my mom, or you're just like your mother.
Oh, yeah, I don't like that.
That'll fuck up a woman real quick.
Or what if you're like your dad? You don't even know it. I have. Well, of course, I came from my parents, but I've checked myself recently on certain tendencies, or even verbiage, or even how I respond. I'm like, that's not Taheim. That's where I came from.
I would say verbiage is definitely something, because there's things that my mother, she's a consistent negative person. Mm-hmm. There's times where, not even thinking about it, I hear something negative come out of my mouth. I'm originally like, ooh, that's your mother right there.
Right.
Like, let's back that up and reprogram that.
Same. Mine's is like, when I want people to leave me alone, like, I don't want to talk right now, I don't say, like, leave me alone or I need space. I'm like, leave me the fuck alone. Like, it comes out. It comes out. I've worked on it. I've tried. I just walk away. And then people come bug me later. I'm like, leave me the fuck alone. Versus saying, like, I need a minute. Yeah, I can't. That too, but I'm instantly, like, snappy on certain shit. Or if I don't agree with something, or something's not right in my eyes, I'm instantly at a point where, like, we can fucking talk about it. And if you really want to talk about it, we can talk about it. But motherfuckers don't want to talk.
post-divorce, post-therapy and everything, when I'm in the oh, fuck off thing, like, I just break it down like, hey, right now I'm overstimulated. This conversation has pinged this from my past.
I've never heard that word until I interacted with white people.
Yeah.
That phrase, overstimulated. You know what that is for, like, a young black man, for real? Shut the fuck up. Like, go figure it out. Like, go somewhere. That's what happened.
I think it's a therapy term along with autism. Is like,
okay, again, the only tism I recognize is a stigma. I wasn't like, I think I have ADHD. I might have the Asperger, something along those lines, but my parents didn't want me to get the test, or they didn't want to believe in those tests. And
well, those tests didn't exist while we were kids.
But enough for me to get help in school where I probably could have used it.
Yeah.
But they didn't want that. No, he gonna figure it out. And
well, you had to be like really, like almost nonverbal for the parents to be like, oh, let's go get him tested in the 90s. Like, you really had to be like deep into the autism.
But like, I graduated in 2011, and I remember like before that, there was people who perfectly verbal playing in PE, but then get to go take the fun classes, like, or they're in science, but their homework's different and stuff like that. And I'm not hating, but like, that would have been fucking nice for me too.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know, I don't remember the quantax of something to the nth power.
The week that I was given Adderall, I think it was like 35, 36. I was like, this would have changed the trajectory of my life if I had it in my freshman year of high school. And it's like, it sucks that ADHD and autism weren't understood that way in 2001, 2002.
The first time I took Adderall was like 26.
Prescribed? Or
no, his homie was like, we playing Yu-Gi-Oh! You gonna get these combos down.
Oh, shit.
And like, I remember sitting there getting agitated because he was taking so long. And I'm like, dude, you only have like 2 fucking plays. And I remember the Adderall, I was like, where was this anywhere? And then here's the real trick. I used to work at the Y, but we worked out of the side of a high school. And we had video game day on Fridays. And that time was Dragon Ball Fighter Z, like a new game that came out. And I had it. The Dragon Ball Z button fighting game, like 2v2, like side by side. And I just remember getting down combos in the middle of whooping these kids' ass at the school because I popped that fucking Adderall.
Adderall changes your life.
Adderall. Danny Brown, for real. I was going crazy, dog. Like, and then we put on Street Fighter. Those kids did not want the smoke off Adderall, Taheim, and Street Fighter.
The level of focus it gives you is just life-changing.
I just remember pulling up a combo on my phone because, like, one of my favorite fighting games, Takato is his name. Dude was putting in combos on Street Fighter. And I was like, let me try this, like, 30 hit. And the kid, like, I blocked it, and I was like, oh, here we go, tap, tap. And I want a fighting stick, too, so this is just like... and he's just like, what are you doing? You're just... I'm just tearing this kid up on Street Fighter. And I remember I didn't lose a game till, like, 12th round.
Yeah.
And those kids are like, what is going on, mister? I was like, you got to tap in. I'm lying to them.
Adderall.
Vitamins and eat your vegetables. Drink your water. I was doing that Hogan. Yeah. Meanwhile, I'm over here off the fucking Adderall bean. Just,
speaking of Hogan, did you watch that first Netflix show?
Adderall? Yeah.
Dude,
I was booing Hulk too.
Pushback on that shit was hilarious.
He's a racist. He's a hater. What he said does not... Sure, nobody should be secret recording anybody in a room, anything like that.
Man, if you're consistently dropping N-bombs, I feel like your friends should be like...
Dog, like, you're doing too much.
Yeah, especially if you're like Captain America on TV, and then like you're just the raging asshole racist. Like, you should be found out. Like,
he was found out, and then his weak ass apologies about it, and then if you look at some of his stuff back in the day, and like how he interacts and the way he says "brother," it's not him being Hulk Hogan. It's him trying to like...
What really bugs me about today's Hogan is he's like, yeah, Macho and I, we were friends and everything. If you look at every Macho Man interview that involves Hulk Hogan after like their run, he's like, I was never friends with that asshole. Like, he shits all over this dude. And then like he comes out on Netflix pushing his piss water beer. But he's also like, yeah, I used to have a good tag team partner in Macho. Like, Macho would not give you the time of day.
If Macho was still around,
yeah.
Fuck you mess with, like, Hulk Hogan's an asshole, like the Elizabeth thing, all that.
Yeah. And you've been on the scene since what, the late 70s? Like, it's 2025 and you're calling back to like shit before I was born. Time to hang it up, dude.
Yeah. And what was crazy is the way that happened for Hulk. His music hits and everybody's like, yeah, no, fuck you. Like, they were spazzing. I was at home like, love it. He got bigger boos than like the best bad guy.
He's supposed to be no mobility under his knees though. Holy shit! When he came out, like,
And then what was his name? Terry Man Funk behind him. What was his name?
The Mouth from the South or some shit.
Yeah, he was just like, I already got my check. Like, why the fuck are we still?
He's just over there waving the flag. He's like, let this old fuck talk.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. I'm not a Hulkster guy. Even when he came back.
I was an Undertaker guy during when he fought Yokozuna, like during SummerSlam. That was like one of the very first memories of me watching wrestling, was that watching that live. Always an Undertaker fan. I never understood like the Hulk Hogan thing.
I remember my most vivid wrestling memory. It has to be Hulk Hogan facing Shawn Michaels when he goes over the rope and he just dives on his fucking head. Okay, so I'll give you my Mount Rushmore of like WWE wrestlers all time. Shawn Michaels, Kurt Angle.
Really? I was never a Kurt guy.
What?
Yeah.
With a broken freaking neck. That shit was such savage.
Well, because he was in the ring with the biggest names in wrestling history.
Could go and beat your favorites. He's beating your favorites.
Yeah.
Roman Reigns and Randy Orton are my last two.
Roman Reigns, what was the fourth one? Sorry.
Randy Orton.
So
what Roman Reigns did this past 3 years where he was champion, unmarkable work. Like, you can't touch it. Your favorite person's reign pales in comparison to Roman Reigns. Also, in this like thing that he did in these past few years, from Cesaro early on to Shinsuke to Logan Paul in Saudi Arabia, give me a Roman Reigns match in these last 3 years that you were like, that ain't it. From the bloodline helping to him winning cleanly to him pinning Daniel Bryan and Edge at WrestleMania like at the same time. Shit. What? Like, come on, son. And then Randy Orton. The reason why I love Randy Orton, like, as my favorite wrestler, is
I can't believe how long he's been in the game.
Exactly.
Now. Like,
and then I remember, was it SmackDown versus Raw 2006? Whatever. He was the cover athlete. Yeah. He was the first athlete in like a sports game to come into the game, like when you started the match, with a finisher already stocked. Like, you could die in 2 seconds because Randy Orton would fuck you up. Damn. It was either like he would hit you with the spin, the flap, and then like you're on the ground, he'd punch you in your head. Or he would counter your move and then RKO, and then you're laying there trying to kick out, but it's so devastating. Plus at that time, like, it was just like the controller's shaking, the crowd's going crazy, Randy Orton's all like in the ring and it's animated, so you're like trying to kick out and you can't. I remember that was the first game, like I was like, damn. Like, this is the closest thing to reality. Like, this dude is just out here he was just insane.
Wrestling games that get to a point where it's too realistic. Where, like, I remember growing up on like WCW Revenge and WrestleMania 2000 on the N64. When they crossed over into like the PlayStation stuff, like I don't like the mechanics of it and shit. Like,
there's a lot to do, but it's also like a simulator, so like you're allowed to have those different.
And that's what I hated with UFC games. When they crossed from UFC 2 to 3, it got too simulator. Same thing with Fight Night, the boxing game.
Yeah.
Was it a Fight Night?
They still make Fight Nights, right?
I think so. Round 2 was amazing. When they jumped over to like the simulator-esque thing in 3, I'm like, this is unplayable.
Like Madden back in the day was always fun. Like, it felt real. Now, like, I couldn't even play a competitive game of Madden online.
I haven't played a football game this century.
Yeah, I'm getting my ass beat.
I used to play NFL Quarterback Club 2000. Like, that was before EA soaked up all the gaming rights.
Like, and then 2K went from like, play with these different teams to like build your character and like do all these things and build a team online, which is cool. But like, there's 2K NBA leagues. Like, people are signed to a NBA team for 2K.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, like the Warriors have a like esports team for 2K. The Lakers do. The Houston Rockets do.
So you're given a single player to customize. How do you play? Like, how does that work?
There's ways to level up your character. There's ways to make your character like that.
Well, I'm saying, like, in any given football game, like, all right, we don't need a wide receiver for the, like, I forget, there's a million fucking positions in an NFL team.
Right, but maybe
what happens when the plays that you're not? Let's say you made an offensive player. What are you doing are you watching the game?
Yeah.
While your defense is on?
Mm-hmm. Well, like let's say say it's like a party of 4 and we're all like on a team. You and I are on offense, all the other 2 are on defense. Like, we're just chilling, waiting, then we get back on offense. Like, I'll be like, throw something out, and then it allows you to motion. There's a whole bunch of, it's crazy.
So there's not a lot of single player offline shit now.
There is.
Okay.
It's still there. It's just people have pushed the play together online vibe.
Rockstar Games can fuck off with that. Red Dead Redemption 2 online is unplayable for me.
You're like, no thanks.
Yeah. I love Red Dead Redemption. Will not play it online, though.
Or like, if they remade like Grand Theft Auto San Andreas.
That would be amazing.
The only thing I ask is like, maybe in the game.
Turf Wars. Make sure those come back.
Yeah, Turf Wars. But like in the game, maybe homeboy has a pager. And like when you tap it with the pager, that's when you like link in online to like do stuff or like meet up in a certain area. Like this can be done online. I don't.
Possible. It's the griefers though. Where I'm like, fuck this, dude. Like I spent $70 on this game for you to troll me the entire fucking time. Like fuck you. Like,
true.
I think parts of those games now you can become untouchable though. Isn't there like a thing that flips where like you basically like when they go to shoot you, like it just goes right through you?
I'm not too sure.
Yeah.
I don't play too many. Like if it's not Mega Man Battle Network Collection right now, Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. I don't even play that like often as much as I should.
So there's a card game Yu-Gi-Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Is the digital? Is it also a card game or is it like
you get packs in there and all that, but like it's free to play?
So weird. Dude.
No, it's perfect.
It's so difficult to juxtapose these things.
It's
the coolest dude I have on the fucking podcast is probably one of the biggest nerds I have.
Well, like again, I told you, it kept me out of trouble. My wife loves me for what's I'm gonna talk about this real quick about to Valentine's Day stuff and all that shit.
You gonna get her Yu-Gi-Oh cards for her?
No, so one time she helped me open up a case of cards. And she opened up the first box and like third pack in, she pulled a card that was short printed, but it's like really good.
Oh, so she's in on this shit too.
I just had her open some packs. Like, you want to hang out? Like, this is what I'm doing right now. Like, come fucking kick it. Okay. And then you know what that turned into? Am I done? Because she's like, they're all the same after a while. I was like, yeah. She sat her ass on the couch and watched Love Is Blind. Like, that's just what she did. But that's cool. But back to like that point, I remember when my wife and I like first started getting like dating, and then like when we like got serious, you know. I remember going to the Y to work out with my wife once, and one of the dudes working the back desk like logs in, like checks her and like checks me, and he's like, "Oh, you're with him? Like, what are you doing with this guy?" And it wasn't like "Oh, what are you doing with this guy? Like, you could do so much better." He was really hating. And then I realized he was the type of white male who has a big truck but has a small gear shaft, who's like 45 years old dating like a 21-year-old. Like, you're one of those. Yeah, you're one of those guys mad because I have what you don't. Like, nigga, live your life, bro. You know, like I hate that shit. I've had that happen more than once, and it's from insecure white dudes. And then the one time it's happened from like a black dude, he was like, Taheim got hoes, right? Like, why are you trying to like hate?
I don't get it.
But then you know what happens? Me and my wife will do something sweet. We'll post something on the social media, and those are the same first fucks trying to like it. Same first ones trying to be we're like, what's up, bro? When they see you. Yeah. So here's what I want to say to the person that you're with now and to the people that you're with now. Can't you do better? Can't they do better? Who are you? You're nobody. This guy, this person, this bitch. Yeah, fuck you. Fuck you. David MD podcast. I said fuck you. I'm growing up. Not you. You're great. On the podcast, I'm saying fuck you to everybody. Because like for real though, on the real, love is love. And if you love somebody or you got a vibe, and if you even care for somebody, you don't have to be intimate for that person. You support them and leave them the fuck alone. And you tell them when it's like hot or crucial or it's terrible. Just because you ain't got what I got, or you couldn't go because your bitch is a 2 and my bitch is a 10, or because you're out here fucking in the ghetto and doing whatever, being a poverty pimp, whatever you want to call it, trying to be somebody that you're not, versus just like being the little nerd that you are, loving Dragon Ball Z and going to Barnes & Nobles and finding your own shorty, you want to hate. So what I tell you is like, I'm glad you got your own situation going on. You're dope. You're a nerd. It's cool. But like if she want to hate on you for that or whatever, people want to hate on you, fuck them.
Yeah.
And then they're going to be really mad when your sex tape is hot. They're going to be really mad when you come to the open mics again and like the bitch on your arm is like a diva, a dime who accepts you for you. You know, all my homies, I have homies who I wouldn't say like gangsta, but they done some shit. Like I got homies who got some shit on them. But they got a down woman who don't judge them nothing and is the sweetest, loving, most beautiful person in the planet. I have multiple homies with that. And the first thing that those women say is like, I love this person for them. Choices are one thing and decisions will be decisions, but like to hate on a motherfucker because they're nerdy or like, oh, because this person has something that you want that you can't have, or you're mad because your shit sucks because you don't know how to use yours or you can't step your game up. Like that shit is foul. I don't fuck with any of that. So Valentine's Day, when I'm due, get my wife some flowers, tell her how much I appreciate her, might make her some food if she want to go out, we'll do whatever. My daughters, they want to do whatever. You know, I'm not with the bullshit. Like honestly, man. like I get hype about that because like, who the fuck are you to say that? If I saw you with like a dime, oh, what are you doing with this guy? You'd be like, who the fuck is this? You'd be like, who is this guy? But for me, it's like, bitch, what makes you that guy to even say that? And then two, like, do you like, are you trying to show off? Because like, you look small. You look like your jewels ain't even polished, bro.
Yeah.
When was the last time you actually wiped your ass? That's the type of shit I'm on.
Yeah.
You know, because people got those opinions and got that energy. Fuck them. Fuck them. Fuck them. Fuck them. Fuck them. They want what you got at the end of the day, or they're mad because they're sitting at the bar alone, or they got to go do the open mic by themselves because they ain't got nobody. And then when they go home, they got to go beat their dick 10 times. It's those guys who are mad, or like, oh, where you been at? You ain't been hanging out. Sorry, I got a lady. Sorry, I got a wife and kids. Sorry, my life is good.
Yeah.
You know?
And if you're at that point in your life, like, oh, that person has all that, like, I'm feeling down about myself, go home and figure out how to improve yourself.
Yeah.
Is the week that I decided I'm going to start doing cold plunge, I'm going to start working out, I'm going to start working on me, that's when people start paying attention. Is like, if you're just out there with whatever bullshit profile, like trying to show off, chicks don't really give a fuck. But if you're like, hey, I've gone through therapy, I work out on a consistent basis, you're working to improve yourself, that's when you start attracting people like that.
Yeah, I agree. And that's why that hit me too. Like, I'm in the gym. I'm not the buffest dude. I'm not the sexiest guy, but I sure as fuck ain't the ugliest.
I'm not saying that women are attracted to like jacked
Right.
dudes, but women that they have depth to what they're looking at. They go, oh, that guy at least gives a shit about himself on a daily basis.
Yeah,
he's taking care of
Yeah,
himself.
his self-care is there. But that's the thing. Like, I'm in the gym doing my self-care, trying to be that guy.
Mm-hmm.
And like, you want to say something to me, bitch, you're behind the counter. Like, come bench press what I do, because I guarantee you're
There's
not doing.
guys in the gym talking shit about it?
That's the dude was working there and said that to me.
What the fuck?
Like, you're up here in this company and you want to say some shit to me like that, dog?
That is the one person that should understand that. Is
Shit. But
that
that's
guy's
the
a paychecker.
No, that person's like, if I was in Utah, he would have been like, what are you doing with my cousin? Like, he would have been that type of guy. He's that type of fucking guy. So fuck him. Like,
Cool
for real.
guy.
No, bitch. That's what it is. Any of them, really. And like, I want those people, if they see me in the public, to have that same energy, because I'm going to say fuck you. It's at that point now in 2025, because people think you forget or they just let shit slide. See, here's what I do. I let shit slide into a category called, I ain't doing this no more. Like, when some shit happens, I don't. I keep it profile, keep it G. I keep it very professional. And even when shit pops off, even in public, I'm cool until this happens. Don't touch me. I don't like that. We can talk. Don't put your hand on my shoulder. Don't try to sympathize. We didn't exchange this. So, like, what are we doing? If those lines aren't crossed, I'm chilling. Now, if that shit goes sideways, okay, let's have a fucking talk. Let's talk about it. Because now Taheim's here. Now I'm in this energy. Now you want me to calm down. And then now I got to bring back down here. But what happens because it's here? Or like, what happens if I grab your ass and I tell you to stop? You know, shit like that. Or what? I would have been the asshole if I would have been like, okay, so since this is not good enough for me, can I have your bitch? Can I fuck your mom? Like, I would have been a terrible person, right?
Can I fuck your mom?
You know, next time somebody says some shit to me like that or gives me that energy, like, hey, I may not be this best guy, but I know your mom wants me to poke her butthole, and then I'm an asshole then, right? I'm the bad guy then, right?
Yeah.
I'm cool with being the heel. That's another reason why I like Randy Orton. He's a fucking heel. I'll kick you in your head. I'll spit in your face. Like, I don't care, because you know what? You didn't care about me. Like, that's where I'm at in 2025, bro. Everybody wants me to be the happy-go-lucky, time just talk about Yu-Gi-Oh!, get on stage, do some cute shit, go home. Fuck you. I'm here to stay. I'm here forever. When I get my special, when I get all these things that I say I want to do because I put it in my universe, I'm going to do it. And I'm not worried about nobody else. I ain't worried about they bitch. I ain't worried about they shoes, they outfit, they show, nothing. I'm happy for you. I'm happy you got that.
Hell yeah.
And even for the shit that I applied for that people got over me, I'm happy for you. I'm mad because it's not me. I'm not mad because it's you. I'm not sad because it's you. I'm mad because it's not me, or I'm more upset because now I have to work 10 times harder, and the price is going to go up, and these people are going to be really pissed off, but it could have been avoided. Yeah. You know, that type of energy is what I'm on. I'm motivated on, like, seeing the fellow people around killing it, and I don't want to be the last comedian that people want to put on their show. Yeah. You know, I don't want to be down here, my guy. Like, I like wherever I'm at, but as long as it's not down here, I'm good. You know, I can work up from here. If I'm down here, I got to figure some shit out. And that's the energy I try to work on, bro. And, like, to every day, from this to Valentine's Day to anything, Groundhog's Day, anything. I'm genuinely, like, if it's up, it's up. If it's down here, we got to figure it out, because I don't like this. Yeah. And there's days, you know, where it's tough. You get negative. You get down on yourself, or you're pissed off, or the energy comes out weird. We sound like our parents. And then we feel like we're back at square one. In reality, it was just literally like a TV timeout. Like, get you some water, my dude. Or, like, tell that motherfucker don't say no shit to you like that. You know, like just, I don't know. We can stand up these days and not. I don't know. For me, I feel like I can stand up these days and I feel like I'm getting sent to the principal's office or going to jail for getting mad about it.
Yeah.
Because some shit you ain't got to agree with, bro. Like, fuck him. Hulk Hogan, fuck him. Like, I don't agree with it.
Nah, fuck that.
But even when we started earlier, if somebody watches this and like, oh, Taheim hates trans people, that's not the case. I hate the fact that you would switch your sex to go be profound in a sport when that was already in your lane and you just couldn't be good at the original you were. But again, that turns into, oh, the original me was this and blah, blah, blah. Fine. If you're doing it just for like a specific reason to go be great, like at this sport or at this competition, that's weird to me. I don't co-sign. But if you're doing this because this is who you really are and you genuinely are like doing your own thing for spirit and soul and that's your temple, like that's your whole cathedral remodel, do whatever you got to do. I'm cool with that. But don't come over here like, I'm this now and I'm about to kill it in this sport because I'm this now. What? Yeah. I don't like that. That's my like fuck that note. And I also support Chick-fil-A. Not on some like every day all the time, but like a nigga sick, I'm gonna go get me some chicken noodle soup from Chick-fil-A.
That does sound good.
Or a quick lunch break, only got 30 minutes. I'm gonna hit this drive-thru and get this mac and cheese. Matter of fact, here's one for you. My sister is a lesbian. And I straight up asked her, I was like, is it a problem that I have Chick-fil-A? She says no. She says no, like whatever they got going on, don't dictate to the food. With that being said, I need you to go to Chick-fil-A and give me a number 1 large pickle, hold the lemonades. Like
I think with
she said
Chick-fil-A,
hold the lemonade. I was like, well, what do you want to drink? She was like, well, not lemonade. And I was like, I brought her a root beer and she was pissed.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of root beer.
Yeah, no, I should have probably went like Coke. The easiest thing.
I think with Chick-fil-A, the food's amazing. I wouldn't, if they were fundraising or anything, I'm like, no.
Never round up.
Same thing with like,
never round up.
The Salvation Army.
Never round
like,
up.
I think it's a good thing, but like, I know some of that money gets funneled to some really fucked up stuff.
Can I give you a story?
What's
a true story?
We are at an hour and 10 minutes.
Yes.
So yes.
So this is it. This is it.
All right.
Those corporations that want you to round up for children's cancer or this hunger,
tax write-off,
because they already made the donation for the tax write-off.
Yeah.
There's a certain number that you make back in taxes if you donated this. So it's easy to say I donated $2 million for children in cancer, $2 million for this, $2 million for that. They gave off $6 million, but because you rounded up, and then the Joe Schmo behind the other car rounded up times $1 billion. Yeah. They made back their $6 million
and then some.
And then some. Plus they got their $6 million back off taxes.
Yep.
That's
what I like with Walmart is they're getting all that money in there. And then half the people on their payroll have to get federal subsidies to like get their fucking groceries.
Amazon too.
Yeah.
Insane. You mean to tell me the CEO is worth $1 billion?
He's putting fucking shit into space.
Right.
I think once you're doing that, you should maybe open up a park.
Right. or like the Walmarts are partial owners of the Broncos now.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, like the dude who owns the Saints also owns the Pelicans. Those are like billionaires. Who have people working
back
for them.
To the point, like, you know, Rockefeller Center.
Let's talk about it.
In New York. That's because a extremely rich person goes, oh, I should probably start putting this back into the public's interest
before they kill me.
Where's Tesla's or Elon Musk's fucking stadium or Elon Musk's park? Like, the dude's about to be $500 billion in net like value. But you tell me that asshole can't open a dog park somewhere?
I agree, but that's.
Something like Carnegie Hall.
Okay, if you were worth $250 billion right now, how much are you? Excuse me, actually giving back?
So back in those days, like the 50s, I know Rockefeller's not from the 50s, but I know for sure the 50s, like their tax bracket was like in the fucking 90s. So this is like, all right, cool, man. You're now with the federal government. You're now in the White House. You're probably going to drive your taxes down even further. Like, it's cool that you want to be a greedy asshole. That is the American dream, is to suck up as much wealth as humanly possible. But, like, you're putting shit into space. We're now measuring your value in the trillions.
That's great.
He is $500 billion in value. At least do something for the public interest. You don't need to dump all 90% of your shit into the public interest, but like, where's your Rockefeller Center? Where's your Carnegie Hall? Where's your museum? Like,
yeah. So
there's Amazon employees like living in fucking cars.
There's Amazon employees dying at Amazon.
Yeah,
like shit like that. I get you.
Just give back a little bit, you greedy fucks.
Right. But, like, people still kill LeBron. He made a whole school.
Yeah.
Kanye made a whole school.
But they're still attempting to.
Right.
We know that they've done that.
They
Name one fucking thing that Elon Musk has done that wasn't in direct interest of his buddies. Like, yeah, sure, he might have donated to the Trump Foundation or like what the fuck
That's
ever.
his buddy.
Yeah.
The Twitter or X.
But where's the dog park? Where's the fucking...
Okay, but that's still to my question, though. Like, if you had that much money in 2025, what are you making? What are you donating? What are you giving
Schools,
back
for sure, is like... I think it's insane that we are the most prosperous country in the world, yet we have some of the dumbest kids going through.
But that's also the school system. You know how that goes.
Yeah, well, I think the way our tax bracket, our tax system feeds schools is ridiculous. So you're telling me that a poverty-stricken community is taking poverty-level taxes and putting it into their poverty-level school, and then we wonder, like, oh, why is the poverty community not putting out
better products?
Yeah.
But even then, that's a lot of P's for a product. And to that point, like you said, taxpayer money, all this money, people giving back to not even really go to those schools like how it's supposed to or be used properly. I think
that's the problem too. Is once tax dollars come in, they're like, "Oh, we need 1 million administrators for this school." Like, no, they're supposed to go to the teachers and the students,
not the principal. And because he hired 2 more people, he gets a bonus.
Yeah,
or that person gets a bonus.
Yeah, I forget what state it was. Literally, like 75% of their budget was to pay administrators. It wasn't even to pay for books and shit.
Bro,
yeah,
that's
there's
too
some
much.
states are fucked up, dude.
So, if I had that much money in 2025, genuinely, I would give back to libraries. I would help make sure like books and like that stuff, fun after school stuff, safe places for kids to go, for families to be, because work and home isn't always the best. I've been there, I've done that, I know that. So I'd give back there. I would try my best to create a restaurant. I would do my best to create a restaurant or profitable chains in cities to where I would initially target those like youth. Like you want to learn how to cook, so you ain't got to do it for mom and dad, or like you can take care of your siblings, or you're not an idiot when you're out on your own.
Yeah,
come holla at me, because not only are you gonna get like decent pay, I'm gonna feed you, but like we gonna set you up for success. We're gonna try to put money away for your school, or like 401k something.
Yeah,
and then I would do my best to genuinely help like the nerd community. I would make it so that the little boys, when we were little boys, we're not getting called gay by our dads because we have a hobby that we like.
Yeah.
I would make that safe. I would do more to make sure I had entry level to get these kids to these events or do things. Like if I would have known about, there's a thing in Yu-Gi-Oh called Dragon Duels, where before you get to 13, you're able to compete in it from like 6 to 12, I want to say. Like there's like a nice youth range. And if I would have known about that, that would have given me the head start to be better now. And
well, if we're going to take stuff from our past, I've been saying this for years. Like, I really don't even need to be like Elon Musk value. Is I want to start a program that helps military kids go into new communities, either like integrating easier into it.
Help these military brats,
Yeah, it sucks. It's because like for my parents, they never wanted to live on base. So we're always going into farming communities, which almost never had military kids in there. And I'm this weird kid. Like I want to put some kind of, I don't think it would take more than, $10 million to make it like fully activated. It was like, all right, let's go to this base, figure out what schools, predominantly have military kids in there. Then let's figure out what schools don't have the predominant military. Like, let's see. It's basically just making life easier based off of our childhood. Is like, yes, the nerd angle, that's one thing, but to really drive it home to David MD, yeah, try to, with money, make life easier for military kids.
I think, like, for me, the most thing would be just making that restaurant.
Yeah.
Like, I would want something that stands past when I die, that would be here forever. Food, something that people would remember outside of, like, his jokes or whatever. Yeah. And they would be like, oh, this dude's dope. And, like, kids go here. Like, it's a comfortable place to work. Like, people genuinely, like, the food's good. People are happy to work here. I just want them to have that comfortable step to be like, okay, you can be successful in this world. Yeah. Because once you've heard that first, like, you can't make it or you're not good at this, try something different, that fucks with you. Yeah. Versus, hey, you made a nice dish today. Let's try it again, and maybe we can move you to manager. Stuff like that goes a long way. And I'm not saying do that for the 30-year-old that's still working there. No, motherfucker, like this 18-year-old, 19-year-old, 20-year-old who just needs that little extra push of like, I'm great at something. I can be great at anything. I want to be great at something. There's that first start. And to the teachers, though, I would try my best to I would want every teacher to have their own medical card. I'd give them like a certain amount of weed For real, hear me out. I would give every teacher a medical card, and I'd give them a certain amount of weed every semester. And then if they didn't smoke it or they don't want to use it, they could turn it in for a credit, a rebate, or whatever. And however much that ounce is worth, that's what they get in cash. So
if
each
I
semester,
had Elon level money, I would be trying to get our government to get teachers into at least the middle class. Is there's so many teachers now like, oh, we're gonna guilt these teachers for being on OnlyFans. Like, motherfucker, that's their third job because they're also waiting tables, and that still's not doing that shit.
So why can't we pay teachers like $60K? Or what?
On the low end, I think 60 should be entry level.
Okay.
I think if you're a tenured, you've been in for a decade teaching kids, dodging bullets, literally fucking breaking up fights and everything. I think if you're a tenured teacher, you should be at like $100,000.
Yeah.
And you're talking to somebody who's been in the military for 18 years, and I'm only making 65. Like, I'm saying, is that important? Like, we didn't get to the moon with dumbass kids.
Right. No, it took a teacher teaching these numbers and getting somebody to understand that. You're right. And teachers don't get the love.
No, they get shot at or beat up in the hallways, man. That's how fucked up our culture
they
is
get paid
now.
like once a month, the beginning or end of the month.
Yeah,
stuff like that. That's foul.
And where did this transition happen now, where it's the student and the parent versus the teacher, when it used to be the parent and the teacher, against the kid?
So,
but I do understand there's shitty
50-50
teachers out there,
like those teachers out here fucking these little boys. Like, these teachers are out here fucking these little boys, and there's grown men who would, like, drool for these teachers.
Yeah.
That shit's weird. So now that turns
into... Well,
into...
accounting for that. Yeah, get the shitty people
But
out
that's
of there.
why that's there, though. That's why the
But
parents...
how many teachers are smashing students, dude?
True.
Like,
But that's the thing, though. That's where the parents were like, okay, I think we should now. Because it's more or less to save the parents' ass.
Well, I understand protecting your child from, like, sexual predators, but, like, protecting them from reading, like, 1984 shouldn't even be a fucking...
read the shit. It's in our curriculum. And then
but they argue with that stuff. Oh, they didn't turn in their work assignment on time. Now the parent is fighting...
with the teacher versus this kid had a due date. Yeah, I get that shit, too. That's foul. That's foul.
To deal with that bullshit, I think a teacher, tenured, should be making 6 digits. Because it's that important, dude. Like I said, if you look at like the space race, is we surge so much money. We have the most respected education system on the planet. I think with this whole Chinese thing, especially with like AI and everything, there's a trade war going on. It's going to show that like No Child Left Behind just kneecapped us with like education. Like, how many kids give a shit about STEM right now? No, science, technology.
Okay, but the STEM setup, I've worked with that, and that shit doesn't. If I was a kid, I'd be like, get this shit out my face. What the fuck is a STEM? Versus, we're making bottle cap rocket ships today? Cool. Or we need, but a part of that
that's
STEM,
on the teacher to drive that home. The reason why STEM is important is because you can do this cool stuff.
But where is that at, though? Because I've worked with teachers who work that energy of like, if you do these things in the STEM realm, it can create these possibilities for you over here. Mm-hmm. And I've also seen people A, B, C equals D, E, F, and G, and not every kid learns to that. Mm-hmm. And a lot of it needs to be turned from standardized
standardized shit we gotta get rid of.
That stuff is what crippled us now because we don't have enough standardized testing. We're gonna get rid of PE.
We're teaching the test instead of teaching,
versus little Timmy
thinking properly.
Dunked on somebody. Oh, I just had a great basketball game or a great PE class. Let me go to the science class. I'm like, the force Newton, blah blah blah. Kids aren't inspired anymore. They're just getting through. And then kids are getting paid in high school NIL. Kids are getting that name and likeness money starting in high school, dog.
That's insane.
You mean to tell me I can go to the shittiest college because they're going to give me $7 million, but I've already made like $100K off the simple fact that I had a decent high school career?
Yeah.
Mom and dad don't have to work this year because I just went and threw for 40 yards in high school.
That would be nice.
Or like, I'm in my basketball season for school trying to go to state. I just got a check after this game for like $35,000. Hey, Mom, the rent's paid. That shit.
What sucks is with that story, like that's a lottery ticket. Like, how many kids do we have like in the public system right now?
Too many.
Millions and millions. Like, you guys need to realize that you're more likely to take this math and science and shit and like put that into a company than get your lottery ticket to
the NBA or wherever.
Yeah, to any of the professional level stuff. Like, this problem is with social media and stuff is we're so honed on the lottery ticket winners that we think that we are all going to be lottery ticket winners.
Yeah.
Which also speaks to the comedy community.
Yo, for real. But what sucks is like you get that one video That one pop or your one joke, next thing you know, somebody else went viral with it, and then like it roots back to you usually.
Yeah.
And Hawk Tua, prime example. You got to spit on that thing.
Yeah.
That whole her just being a blonde young woman saying I would do some things to a penis.
I have seen her on some podcasts. She's funny as shit.
She's
like,
cool.
She definitely jumped the line.
And I'm not mad at her for it.
Yeah.
But somebody who doesn't know STEM down the line might be mad at her for it. Somebody who's not acquainted with that type of vibe might be sitting there, why did she get that, not me? Like we were talking about earlier, versus just go work on yourself.
Yeah.
In her case, I found out that she actually lost her job because of that video. Like, oh, you're out here being like a whore on video. Like, and she was asking the dudes, like,
and they wonder why women go to OnlyFans. Like, well,
they were mad at her for it, and like she was like, "Can y'all take this video down? Like, I'm like my life is ruined." And then they didn't. So then it turned into she used it as her angle to be great. She got
within a year she got a millionaire. Like,
got her own crypto coin. And then people are asking her, well, why didn't you shout out the people who put you on? I actually told them to stop.
Yeah.
But now that I'm on, fuck them. Like, I get it. Fuck them. Like, you know.
Yeah.
It's that whole don't beat the hand that feeds you, or don't slap the hand that feeds you. Well, don't put it out there for it to be bit at the same time. Like, I'm going to yank that thing off.
Yeah.
It goes back. The STEM is important.
Yeah.
Teachers are important. But when did that stop being the focus of importance? That's where we're at right now. If we can get back to teachers are important, these kids don't need to come to school feeling like they need to shoot it up or like fight the teacher.
I think we're beyond the point of. I think we're at the point of no return. Is culturally we're so absorbed in that the lottery ticket winners. We also see no point in the education. Is like AI and all that shit. Because like with the easiest thing to call back to is the space race. Mm-hmm. Is like education is what got us to the moon. We really haven't had an oh shit moment until this AI thing, where it's like we need programmers, we need a bunch of smart people to figure this shit out, and they just sucker punched us with like the what's that new AI that just dropped from China? It literally needs like half the power, half the money. DeepSeek. Like that, for people that know what the fuck's going on, that's an oh shit moment. But because we're so lulled into our cattle mentality, basically, we're just sitting there chewing our cud, is we're basically waiting around for somebody to just like okey doke us as a country.
We're going to get gone. And it's because of that. Yeah. Remember when PlayStation got hacked back in the day? Like early
time?
Yeah, that first time. And it was 2 kids. And then like the Xbox hacks, it was 2 kids. Mm-hmm. And like instead of us telling these kids, hey, don't hack this, but like let's get you into some dope shit. Mm-hmm. They wanted to punish those kids and sit them in jail. No, those kids were literally probably saving us. So if we would have put them on the right track, like, hey, don't hack, but like, can you create a program? Can you like type some shit up that gets us to the next level?
Yep.
You know, that's the shit. One last story for real, because I know you got plans. I got plans.
We're good.
I worked in a school, in elementary school, and still through the YMCA. And this kid was a problem kid, like stereotypical, acting out, don't want to do nothing, fuck your plan. But the reason why he was that way is because he wasn't being heard. Mm-hmm. So when he found out that I did stand up, he was like, you ain't got no jokes. Can you teach me how to write a joke? First thing in my mind is like, no. But secondly, I'm like, wait, this is this little youth just needing an outlet, needing to figure out something.
That was Tiffany Haddish back in the day too.
Right. So I sit this kid down and I'm like, there's this thing where you think about something, and then you switch it. Mm-hmm. And I was like, it's called set up, punch. And we kept trying it, and he was like, your mom doesn't love you, but it's not because you did anything wrong. It's just because you look like your dad. He was saying like shit along those lines, like elegant, like stupid stuff. He's like, you suck at Hot Wheels, not because your hands don't work. You just don't know what a Hot Wheel is. Like he was just doing cute little things. I can't even give you like all of his jokes. Mm-hmm. I couldn't even tell you. Yeah. But he got in trouble because he did like a your mom joke. He was
the
like,
best kind of jokes, by the way.
He was like, the school food sucks, but the best food is always cooked by your mom. It was like that.
I like this kid.
It was great, and they told him he couldn't like do that anymore. He couldn't write jokes anymore. He couldn't like do that. And then I was like, well, you can still like journal. Maybe you could use it in the same style. But that right there, he was like, wait, I can't do what I've been doing, and it wasn't hurting anybody. It wasn't doing anything wrong. I wasn't fighting. I wasn't being weird. Nothing. And they like eventually the boy flipped his shit, went back, reverted, and they kicked him out of the program.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there like, what? Meanwhile, this little brother is touching his sister, being weird in the corner. That kid gets to stay, but we've talked to mom about that several times. Shit like that, dog.
Yeah.
So that was my sign to like get out of like the education system and like just focus on myself and do something. And then when I do get to eventually educate people, I'm gonna be able to do it my way.
Yeah. It sucks that our system is built the way it is because it does punish. Like, all right, the nail that hangs out gets the hammer.
Yeah. Versus like, no, that kid genuinely could probably be our star pupil, could be the greatest kid ever.
Yeah.
We could push him to be LeBron, whatever, because his energy's there. We just got to focus it.
Yeah.
Or allow him to gain a focus. But we don't do that.
The thing is, like, in that situation, if I was a teacher, I'd be like, hey, look, like, I really like what you're doing, but we're in an environment that we're trying to prepare you for the professional world. I can't have you saying your mom jokes in this professional setting,
right.
But you should be crushing that in any venue you can. You're a young kid, so we can't get you to most open mics, but, like, I'd be pushing it that way.
Yeah, I was trying to tell him, like, just make sure you keep writing.
Yeah.
Like, get it off of you.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It felt really weird that the school system was like, this kid can't write and, like, jokes. I was like, I told him he can't cuss. I told him he can't call nobody any names. He can't say any vulgar stuff. Like, where's rules here?
But apparently his mother jokes are on point.
It was fire.
I like this kid.
We were in the cafeteria, and he said it to me. He was like, man, this school lunch sucks, but the best food always comes from your mom. And I was like, I looked at this kid like, fuck you. That was funny. That was hilarious. But he got punished for it, and that, like, put a real sour taste in my mouth.
Dude.
Like, I was like, yo, this kid is genuinely removing himself from problems. When he felt a certain way, he'd sit down and write. Yeah. We're teaching young boys to go write versus, like, punching this little boy in the fucking face or, like, starting a fight.
Yeah.
And y'all want to take that away from him? Shame. Instead of y'all sitting down, like, maybe we not use the subject matter. We could have really talked to this boy and tweaked it.
Yeah.
But instead now he's probably out here raging somewhere. I hope you're okay, little dude. Bullshit. Any of the little homies. If any of the little homies find this, any of the youth that I've helped in my time working with the youth in the 7 years I was doing that, I hope you're doing well. Remember what I told you? Fuck them. Don't let them talk to you any kind of crazy. Don't let them try to push you over. You got your own name. Don't let nobody talk you about your name. Don't let nobody just fuck them.
Love it. Love it, love it, love it.
Oh, real quick, shout out Jay Folks. That's why I'm wearing shades on this, because you did it, so I'm going to do it too.
Bunch of cool guys coming out. Maybe I'll wear mine.
Now you can only do this podcast if you wear sunglasses.
I like it. All right, I'll see y'all next week. Bye.